Welkom in my Afrikaanse klas. Soos julle teen die tyd weet, is ons besig met die ongelooflike avonture van Hannah Hokom. Graad 12, so ons gaan vandag fokus met hierdie les oor of op die vertellersperspektief, met ander woorde, wie vertel die storie? Ons gaan kyk na verskillende temas, of ons kan sê lewenslesse, of die boodskap of boodskappe wat die skrywer wil oordra, en dan gaan ons vinnig kyk na 'n paar simbole in die boek. Goed, hier is ons prentjie weer, net om julle gedagtes te verfris. Kom ons gaan dadelik aan met die vertellersperspektief. En ons weet almal dat die storie word deur Hannah vertel. So, sy is 'n ek-verteller of 'n eerste persoonsverteller. Nou ouens, hierdie is terme wat julle moet ken. Julle behoort dit al teen hierdie tyd, as ek 12 uur in die nag deur jou venster klim en vir jou vra, eerste persoonsverteller, vertel vir my, derde persoonsverteller, behoort jy, sonder om 2 keer daaroor te dink, vir my te kan antwoord. So sy is die stem wat ons in die storie hoor. Sy is die stem wat die storie vertel. En soos met 'n eerste persoonsverteller, weet ons die hele tyd wat in Hannah se kop aangaan. Ons weet die hele tyd wat sy dink en ons weet haar emosies, soos wat sy dit verklaar en vertel en vir ons die inligting gee. Nou hierdie punt is nogals belangrik. Ek gaan dit vir julle lees. Die leser, which is us that are reading the story, weet so min soos Hannah van wat die ander karakters dink of voel. Because Hannah is not, she's a eerste persoonsverteller, kan sy nie sien wat in iemand anders se kop aangaan nie. So sy kan nie sien wat hulle dink nie, sy kan nie sien wat hulle voel nie. So sy is aangewese op kommunikasie. As die karakters nie praat nie, kommunikasie, sorry guys. As die karakters nie praat en vir haar sê hoe hulle voel nie, dan weet sy net so min soos wat ons weet. Die feit dat sy 'n baie fyn waarnemer is. She is a keen observer of detail. And because that is the fact, vertrou ons, we trust Hannah's take on things. Because she is such a keen observer. She sees those little things that other people might ignore or not realize how important it is. Goed. Kom ons kyk gou-gou na die temas van die verhaal. Ons het nou al gepraat oor die hersaamgestelde gesinsverhoudings. En hoe kompleks, that guy that says it's complicated, dit is nou presies wat dit is. Some of you will be able to relate to this. It's my dad's children and my mom's children, and then they've got children together, and all the tension that comes with that. And maybe there's a divorce then, and it's another set of children and another stepfather. So it's really, really complicated. Hannah verlang na normaal. She really longs for just a normal family. And the holiday is thrown into this mix. The fact that they are caught up on the mountain, all of that. Hulle word gedwing, they are forced om te kommunikeer. They are forced to communicate with one another. They are forced to rely on one another. And then you get Margot and Gavin into that mix, the two queens. You add to the pot the birth. What on earth? But this situation, all of these complicated elements, in the end, they were all closer together because they started seeing one another. Hulle het mekaar begin waardeer. Hulle het mekaar begin waardeer. Matrix. Net gou 'n kantopmerking. Hierdie woord moet jy nie verwar met hierdie woord nie. Waardeer. This is appreciate. En hierdie het te doen met 'n posisie of iemand, ons het die kontak gekry, ons waardeur ons 'n nuwe motortjie kon aankoop. Alright, so this is a preposition, if I remember correctly. But please don't get these two confused. This one is appreciation. Goed. So the first important theme is this one. The family, the joined family, hersaamgestelde gesin. Ons volgende tema is die krag van verhale. Now here, it's talking about the alter ego. And we know that is Fabienne. And as the story develops, as I said, where these stories of Fabienne is stories where she can escape, in the end, it is not necessary because she realized her own family is so interesting. Let's just quickly have a look because this is a very important concept here. This verhaal, so we have the story of Hannah and her family. So within that story, we've got these stories of Fabienne that becomes less and less towards the end of the story. So there's a verhaal binne 'n verhaal. All right? We know that it's about escapism. She wants to escape her reality because she's so frustrated with everything. Where Fabienne's life in the beginning was perfect, her life in the stories that Hannah is writing about her becomes more and more of a mess, a gemors. As she tries different genres, the stories become less and less successful. Hannah se lewe raak interessanter, haar werklikheid. As she comes to know these people around her, becomes more and more interesting. And then eventually, sy neem afskeid van Fabienne. Sy sê, she greets Fabienne, she says goodbye to Fabienne, because she realized that her own story is much more interesting. And then she comes to a very significant conclusion. And I want to make this, I want to underline this with pink. Almal, all of us, have their own story. And you know what? We all just want our story to be heard. Just think about that. So dit is 'n baie belangrike ander tema van die storie. Ek wil net gou die krag van verhale. Goed. Daar's ook ander temas. Ek wil net hierdie uitkrap. want dit was nie meer nodig nie. Dit het van toepassing op die vorige skyfie. Die ander verhale, die ander temas wat aangespreek word, is soos eensaamheid, loneliness. Kom ons skryf dit net daar. Julle weet wat dit is. Jene, sorry julle. Ek's nie vandag so vars nie. Loneliness. As hy. Hierdie ene is rejection. As ons nou kyk na Jan en Amos se storie en hulle ma wat geskei is van hulle pa en wat Hollywood toe gegaan het omdat sy graag haar ambisie om 'n aktrise te wees was so groot. En wat het gebeur? Hierdie twee seuns voel alleen en hulle voel verwerp. Sharon spreek ook 'n tema aan en ons het nou al hieroor gepraat, snobisme. Sy verlang so na haar ouma, maar haar pa dink haar ouma is minderwaardig. Worthy, she's unworthy to be part of their family because she's a simple woman. Die ander tema wat aangeraak word, is die hele ding van stereotypes. En hoe Mana juis deur haar karakter probeer sê, don't fall into this trap to be a stereotype. Be your own person. Be true to yourself, who you are. Beyer se karakter bring hierdie hele kwessie van die egskeiding, kom ons praat daaroor, egskeiding, divorce, en die verskriklike effek daarvan. So the divorce, which is something so common in our day and age, and what are the effects of that? What happens? The effect on the grown-ups, the effect on the children. And then lastly, hy soek sy pa. He's looking for his own dad. Want ek dink hy het bietjie van 'n identiteitskrisis. It's wonderful, this whole thing of modern technology and artificial insemination and finding the sperm somewhere and raising a child in a single parent family. So it's all of these themes that are also coming out in this book. Controversial stuff that we need to talk about. Even the topic of homoseksualiteit. Even that comes out of the story. So there are lots of themes that you can pick from when you have a question to answer on the themes that come out of the story. Please remember, when you have to answer questions around this, is that you have to motivate your answer as best as you can, using the best words to do that. Goed, as ons praat oor simbole, is dit die hele ding van die alter ego. Ons het die ding van die tande, dis vir haar 'n verskriklike groot ding. Simbole wat ook voorkom is wat elkeen, byvoorbeeld die proefbuis, is 'n simbool van Thibaut se lewe. Die skilderkwasse is 'n simbool van Mana se manier om anders te kyk na die lewe. Daar's so baie klein simbole wat die heeltyd voorkom in die storie. Die ironie is, Hannah vind Fabienne en haar fantastiese lewe toenemend vervelig en moet telkens haar storie verander. And therefore, she uses different genres to write these different stories. And when we go through the chapters, we will see how that affects the story. Uiteindelik, eventually, she realizes that her own reality is actually not so bad. Haar eie realiteit, haar eie werklikheid is eintlik 'n wonderlike werklikheid. Goed, ek hoop julle het so 'n paar van die legkaartstukke bymekaar gesit en dat die prentjie vir julle al hoe helderder en duideliker word. Tot 'n volgende keer.